Okay, I was looking at the news, and this is July 15th, 2023. And according to reports, this is reports that I'm looking at Football 365 on the web, it says that the two main bidders for Manchester United feel that a takeover is quite close to being completed ahead of next season. Well, I've been hearing that for a month and a half now, okay, that a deal is close, a deal is imminent, a deal is right around the corner. Either Jim Ratcliffe or Sheikh Jassim was going to take over Manchester United, and Mark Goldbridge and Flying Pig and Now Let's Talk Football, we're going to scream to high heavens. Thank God we got rid of the Glazers. Glazers out, Glazers gone, Glazers forever. Look what they did to this club, and then and then basically move on. Okay, and everything's going to be roses, peaches, and cream, and Manchester United is going to start buying players again, selling the dead weight, getting rid of the Maguires, the Jadon Sanchos, the Scott McTominays, the Freds, and bring in they can't Caicedo or players like that, even João Felix on loan with the option to buy. Well, here's the thing: the Glazers don't have to sell. Okay, that's the reality of the situation. They don't need to sell. They can pull out at any time and say, we decided not to sell, and that's it. And if that happens, look, they live in Central Florida. They don't live in Manchester. They don't have to worry about where their kids go to school getting taunted by Manchester kids or anything like that. Okay? All they have to do is say, we aren't going to sell. It's not for sale. We're going to take it off, or we're going to or meet our $6 billion asking price or walk away. That's what's going to happen. Okay? The Glazers do not need to sell Manchester United. There is nothing that says that they need to sell Manchester United. That's just the fact and the way it is. So, even though I've been seeing this for about a month and a half about how Manchester United is, right around the corner, a sale is imminent. Gary Neville is going to go, is going to go bat crap crazy over a Manchester United sale. The Glazers don't have to sell. They just don't. Right now, they are making money hand over fist with Manchester United, and until you meet the $6 billion asking price, they don't. Again, even if you met the $6 billion asking price, they don't have to sell. That's just the way it is. Okay, and so I wondered what would happen if the Glazers didn't sell. How would that react? Now, keep in mind, when the Glazers bought Manchester United, I think back in 2004, 2005, whenever it was, they still had Sir Alex Ferguson. And they still were bringing in top players, and they would win the Premier League, 4 or 5 times. It's just between 2005 and 2013. They won the Champions League in 2008, beating Chelsea on penalty kicks. Then made to 2 other finals, losing to Barcelona both times in 2009, 2011. You also, I think you won a couple more trophies in there. Bottom line is this: Manchester United have had a great spell when the and I guess winning solves everything. You had the green and yellow scarves at Manchester United. Those are, Glazers out. But when you had Sir Alex Ferguson there, winning, you didn't see a whole lot of Glazers out because Ferguson knew what he wanted and was able to get what he wanted, and everything worked out fine. Now, the only thing that I remember about the latter half of Sir Alex Ferguson's time at Manchester United was the game against Manchester City, where I think Manchester City beat Fulham 1-0, and Manchester City were down 2-1 to QPR, and then 2 goals were scored, and Manchester United would end up losing the title on the last game of the season. The following year, they would win the Premier League title. 2013, Sir Alex Ferguson names the chosen one, David Moyes, and all of a sudden, Manchester United is no longer challenging for the Premier League title, no longer challenging for Champions Leagues, and all of a sudden we have Glazers out again. And we've gone through David Moyes, Ryan Giggs, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, Ralph Ragnick, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Ralph Ragnick, and now we got Eric Ten Hag. And things are starting to look up for Manchester United. They are starting to play a little bit better. There seems to be a plan in place. Eric Ten Hag seems to be a good discipliner, a good hire, good fit for this club. But the problem they have is they still have the Glazers in charge and the board. Now, again, I said the Glazers don't have to sell, and I mean that because they're breaking hand over fist on Manchester United. But you have guys, again, like I said, guys like Gary Maguire, Scott McTominay, Fred, Jadon Sancho, just name a few, who need to get out of there, need to leave the club. I understand why Harry Maguire doesn't want to leave the club because he's making too much money. I mean, look, he still gets picked for England, okay? And unless unless Gareth Southgate says, Harry Maguire, you're no longer a part of the England unless you start playing, there's no real reason for him to leave Manchester United. And so I understand that, but Scott McTominay needs to go, Fred needs to go, Jadon Sancho needs to go, and this needs to raise capital so that they can bring in some of the players that they want. Now, again, I see that João Felix is listed as a possible loan signing. Is that what Manchester United has become? A loaning team, a team that takes up loans? I mean, that's unbelievable. But the Glazers don't have to sell. But if they do sell, then people think, peaches and cream, everything's going to be great. I'm not so sure about that. We'll see how that all pans out. But ultimately, here's the thing. What if the Glazers don't sell? Well, it's going to be business as usual. It's going to be Manchester United, fighting for fourth place in the Premier League, maybe getting a League Cup final and winning, maybe making an FA Cup, but they're going to be in no danger of winning the Premier League. They're in no danger of winning the Champions League. They are just not going to be that kind of a team that's going to win those games and win those titles, okay? Not while Manchester City is still playing the way, look, and you could ask the question, what happens when to Manchester City when Pep Guardiola leaves? Well, they don't have to worry about that for the time being, but that is something to consider. But for Manchester United right now, as long as the Glazers are there, okay, and keep in mind, I as far as me being an Arsenal fan, I love the Glazers being at Manchester United because it brings up so much joy and joy in my heart watching the Manchester United fans react to the Glazers. But that's just my 2 cents. But yeah, the Glazers don't have to sell, okay? And if the Glazers don't sell, then Manchester United is going to stay where they are. A potential top 4 club, maybe not. They are a team that's going to struggle to get top players in. I mean, look, Mason Mount I've said this before, is a good player, but he doesn't blow wind up my skirt. Okay, he's not the bee's knees. He's not the bee's knees. He's not everything that you hope he's going to be. But that's my opinion. Okay, keep in mind that's my 2 cents. Thanks for watching. This is an Arsenal fan, giving his 2 cents on what happens if the Glazers don't sell. Have a good rest of your day. Go Arsenal, and thanks for watching. Please click like, share, and subscribe.